Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NFL Thoughts. You know, I really don't have much to say today, other than how about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Hey, we did it. We got our first win of the year. And like I said before on a previous video, there's a lot of Cowboy fans out there acting like the sky is falling. You know what I mean? And I just didn't understand it. I really did not understand what all this panic was coming from. Bro, I'm never losing hope until it is official that we literally have no hope. We're already eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah. But nonetheless, let's talk about this game today, y'all. Matter of fact, I just saw that Cardinals Raiders game. All right, I saw the ending at least. I saw the ending, and the Cardinals were down by 20 at halftime, and then everybody was looking at each other like, "What in the world is going on?" They came back and they won that game 29-23 in overtime after Byron Murphy Jr. picked up a fumble and ran it back for a touchdown. There were a lot of great games, wild finishes today. And all I have to say is, wow, I love the NFL. Wow, I love NFL football, man. Man, I love NFL football. Woo! Man, week 1 was something else. Week 2, I don't know. Week 2 kind of won up week 1. I mean, you talk about games that we saw 2 teams today rally from down 20 plus and win. All right, I just went over the Cardinals. The other team, Miami, they came back from down 21 and beat the Ravens in their house, man. Lamar Jackson did his thing. He threw for 294, 3 touchdowns. He rushed for 119, including a 79-yarder for a touchdown on the ground. I mean, he did his thing, but Tua Tagovailoa just did better. He threw for twice as many touchdown passes as Lamar Jackson with 6. I mean, just think about that. And I had problems. I had, questions about if Tua Tagovailoa is really the guy. And I still had those questions even heading into this game that they had against Baltimore. While they won last week, that it wasn't like Tua Tagovailoa, was really balling out. I mean, remember, he underthrew Tyreek Hill, who was wide open downfield. He underthrew him and threw the ball into the dirt 10 yards away from where Tyreek Hill was. So I still had questions about Tua, but today, man, forget that. Tua Tagovailoa, he did his thing today. He did his thing. So yeah, we saw 2 teams come back from down 20 plus today, and they did it on the road. That's the crazy part. They did it on the road. It wasn't like it was at home. They did it on the road, hostile environments, and just rallied and won the football game. I mean, just crazy. And then let's talk about, speaking of rallies, teams rallying. Let's talk about my Cowboys. We were up 17-3 at halftime, and we were feeling pretty good. That game-winning field goal by Brent Maher was the only points that we scored the entire second half. I will be quite honest with you. The offense almost crapped the bed in this football game and almost lost the game for us. Had it not been like, oh my God, I'm telling you, if Kellen Moore and this offense could just figure it out, all right, I was saying, bro, Kellen Moore, this is your moment. This second half is your moment. You need to step up. You did very well in that first half, but now it's about, can you call a good game in the second half as well? Don't allow a team to adjust to you and you can't make adjustments. So that was his moment. And while we won the game, Kellen Moore, once again, he disappointed as far as trying to adjust in the second half. He really did. And maybe you can say some plays just broke down and they were just completely out of his control. Like I don't believe, like Tony Romo said, I don't believe he called exactly any bad plays, but there were a lot of plays where it was just, some things were just out of his control, where the players still have to execute the plays, and sometimes they just didn't do that. I would like to say that I thought we did very well running. I thought we did very well. Kellen Moore did very well, utilizing the ground game in the first half. But the second half, I did not see that. I saw Ezekiel Elliott, I believe he finished the day with like 16 carries. 16 carries. I believe he finished with like 16 carries, like 57 yards. I mean, his yards per carry obviously went down. But it was the fact that we didn't feed Zeke like we should have. Like that first half, he was doing pretty well running the football. And for some reason, the second half, we just didn't do it as much. And that's the reason why his yards per carry went down in the second half, is because he wasn't being given as many opportunities. You got to understand, Zeke is an old school type running back, Kellen Moore. And you got to feed the beast. The more you feed him, the stronger he gets. Nonetheless, I'll take the victory any way I can get it. And while the Bengals rallied and made it a 17-17 ball game, and they had the ball back, and this was the first time that Joe Burrow actually did not, he did not, basically he did not live up to the challenge. We call him Joe Cool, and that he can engineer his team down the field just like he did last week against Pittsburgh. If he had his kicker that could kick the ball, or more importantly, his long snapper that could snap the ball right, then they win that game. But in this game, he actually crumbled under the pressure. He crumbled under the pressure. And the defense shut down. They shut down Joe Burrow, Joe Cool, during that 2-minute drill attempt. And we got the ball back with 1:05 to go, I want to say. No, it was like 1:09 left. And we got the ball back, and we really got things going after Cooper Rush had a ball batted up in the air and Noah Brown caught it. And Noah Brown, by the way, has been a key contributor and key target, no matter who's the quarterback, whether it was Dak Prescott last week or Cooper Rush this week. It seems like he's just been that key target to look for. Remember, in the first half, he had 4 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, and by the way, CeeDee Lamb, he did better today. I felt like I mean, come on. You have to understand. Everybody's looking at him. Everybody's focusing on him, and obviously, you know, he's maybe not gonna have the same type of production that he did when Amari and Michael Gallup were there, but he will be getting James Washington back in Week 5, and Michael Gallup, it is still to be determined whether he's going to be back next week. Also, he didn't have Jalen Tolbert either. We got pieces that I feel like can be dependable in the receiving game, and they can take that pressure off of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb did better today. Absolutely, he did better today rather than what he normally did. Rather than what he did last week. This week, I think he had like 5 or 6 catches, I believe, which is more than twice the amount he had last week. Just know that, CeeDee Lamb, he can be a number one receiver. He absolutely can be a number one receiver, but sometimes even a number one receiver needs that complementary receiver, and you saw how Noah Brown stepped up to that task, and that opened things up for CeeDee Lamb. So yeah, he did nice today. All right, he did pretty good. Speaking of guys who did pretty good, Cooper Rush did pretty good too as well. I felt like there was some missed throws that he had in that game, some passes that he was throwing into the dirt, but nonetheless, he came through when we needed him to the most. He had his Tom Brady moment. We're not calling him Tom Brady, but he had a Tom Brady moment. Game on the line. You need to drive your team down the field and put your team in position to, win the game, and that's what he did. He kicked the field goal, and he put us in field goal range. Brett Maher kicked the field goal, and we won 20-17. I feel like this is what this team is going to have to do. We are going to be tested this year in grit, that gritty, being able to win games, hard fought football games, That's how I feel that this team is going to be tested this year. Because you don't got those guys like Randy Gregory on the defensive side of the ball, or Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, and whatever on offense. You don't got those guys. But we still have core players that can still be dependable and can still make plays. And like I said, this team's going to be tested, with these type of football games. By the way, funny thing, last year we won the game just like this. Last year, week 2, coming off of a Tampa Bay loss, we beat the Chargers with the game-winning field goal by Greg Zuerlein, winning 20-17. Same thing, we had a game-winning field goal. This time it was by Brett Maher. We won 20-17 to make us 1-1. So far, I guess so good. So far, good. How about that? I wouldn't say so good. I thought that we were in a better situation after week 2 last year, because we had that close loss to the Buccaneers in week 1, and then we actually won against the Chargers the next week. But this year, we took a tail kicking in week one, but we made up for it with a win against the Bengals today. So I would definitely say we're definitely in a far worse position right now than we were last year at 1-1. But nonetheless, we are 1-1, and we're not 0-2, and that's all that matters. We won the football game, and I'll take a win anywhere I can get it. All right, so let's keep on saddling up these wins, and let's keep this thing rolling. So, as of right now, the NFC East division is looking like this. At last place is the Washington Commanders. In third place, is the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants are 2-0, but the Eagles have a half game lead over the Giants technically because they haven't played their game yet, and they were first place in the NFC East after week 1 last week. So yeah, technically they still have a half game lead in the division. So yeah, Giants 2-0 in second place, and by a half game, the Eagles are right now up 1-0. So the NFC East does not look bad this year, especially the Giants. I fear them the most. I do not fear the Eagles. So if we can get a win against the Giants next Monday night, I'll be happy. I'll honestly be like, yo, if we can beat the Giants, we can beat the Eagles. Because right now, I think the Giants might be a better team than the Eagles right now. They beat Tennessee last week, and then they beat Carolina this week. The Eagles, that defense, they got some real defensive issues. But yeah, that's what the NFC East is looking like right now. At least we don't have to worry about being dead last with still 0 victories. We are 1-1, and I'll take 1-1 obviously over 0-2. I would like for us to be 2-0, but yeah. So I would also like for us to have Dak Prescott, but hey, we got Cooper Rush, and we'll ride with what we got, at the moment. So that has been my time, and this is NFL Thoughts out.